I'm kind of in an awkward position for this, but the water flows here, underneath there, and then through there. Well, howdy, howdy, howdy. Nearly senior citizen here. Greetings, boys, girls, and all of our non-binary friends, and welcome to this, a brand new day. And remember, no matter who you are valid. Thumbs up for that. I've been posting on my community thing, so hopefully you've read some of them, and if you have, I said I was going to do 2 videos yesterday, and I only did one, where I talked about I was going to my appointment, and then I never did a follow-up until later that night when someone said, you said you're going to do a follow-up. I had been having staying awake problems all day yesterday, and I kept falling asleep in my chair. So I finally did a community tippity-tappity-tippity post about my health really fast, but I'm going to talk about this really quick right now. I did have my appointment yesterday, and I came out of it feeling pretty good. Feeling good for many, many reasons, but talking with he's not a doctor, physician's assistant. You know, anytime there's a real solid, oh, I got a question, you know, goes off to the physician who's the supervisor. But good guy knows his stuff, and there's nothing wrong with being a physician's assistant. That's, you know a lot. So we were talking about all of the various things, because I had originally gone in there just to talk about this because of the results on the EKG saying past myocardial infarction, but then I ended up in the ER, and then stuff was happening, and they wanted me to get a cardiac stress test, so everything looks really good. They only have 3 EKGs in the hospital there for me, which is, they should have a lot more. I've lived in Shelton since like 2007, and I've been into the hospital quite a bit. But going on, they only have 3. But each one of them can have a different interpretation. And that one interpretation that says past myocardial infarction might not get that interpretation from someone else. So, he's not a cardiologist. I am being referred to cardiology because the ER, especially, they left the notes and they impressed it on me to talk to him about doing the cardiac workup. It's being sent off to the cardiology. They're going to get to me. We're going to set stuff up and figure out what we need and get that done. But, with everything else and looking at all of the tests and such, everything else looks great. Even the number itself. The one number that I brought up, NT-proBNP, his physician that he goes up and talks to, their personal view on that test is, don't waste your time and money on that test. Let's do something that will give us results we can use. Personal interpretation. Another doctor might do that differently. But especially remembering that your number is supposed to be, if you're up to age 60, below 75. So that's quite a range. And then from 60 to 75 is you should be below 125. And then when you hit 75, below 450. So there's kind of a range there that's all normal. And only when it's over 900 is that considered full congestive heart failure. And my therapist has had a relative who spent decades dealing with that, living at 30% capacity, and just lived. Your body gets used to it. He never felt it after that because it was a slow period. Just functioned normally, took the medications, and lived for decades. It is not a death sentence, congestive heart failure. So even if I did have it, it wouldn't mean a thing. But that number was the only thing. Because I still do. Because I asked him, what should I do? Just in case. And I already exercise daily. And I had come to him before about how to treat my blood pressure to get it back down to where it should be. And right now, on the meds that I'm on, it's good. I usually have a bit of white coat syndrome where it bumps up your blood pressure higher than it normally is, and it comes back down when you're out of the clinical situation. Even when I was in the ER last time, my blood pressure was like 119/57. And when I went to the doctors yesterday, it was 120/70 something. So I've taken care of that, and I'm trying to get it down without the use for medication by exercising and trying to lose weight. Since I have gained weight, and I hate that. I mean, I've been losing slowly, but I was still right around 210, 215. Doesn't help. But exercising daily. And, what's that? Managing my blood pressure. And then the third one, I had asked him about for use of pain, but I take one, sometimes two, 81 milligram aspirin tablets, and had been before I asked him what should I have been doing. So I had already been doing the 3 biggest things you can do. And just based on everything that's going on, I have been prescribed a statin, which is a cholesterol lowering medication. If you have a range of you're dropping down into dangerously low, or you're up into dangerously high, but this is the normal range, I'm about right here. Not anywhere near, anything to worry about, but so something to watch. I've been put on a statin for that. My doctor, I'm just going to call him that, takes that med. My sister takes that med, and it's a med that she can tolerate, and none of the others help her because she's got a whole busload of issues, and all the other statins make her joints hurt. This one is tolerable. So I'm not feeling terrible about taking a statin because lowering your cholesterol is good. Now I have a very reactive system. They have not checked my cholesterol level since I started taking garlic, and I'm taking a lot of garlic. And the reason I say I have a very reactive system is because I do. At one point, because of all the garlic tablets I was taking, my actual cholesterol level got dangerously low. It was like I was on high levels of a cholesterol reducing medication. So, but I'm older now, and there's stuff that's been done that my body is just not going to bounce away from. So, we're going to see what happens. They're going to test things. But all in all, except for one thing that I got to ask them about because I forgot, so that I can get my colonoscopy scheduled, because I'm 6 years late on a 6-month follow-up. Hopefully, I don't have too many polyps that need to be removed, but they're probably going to have to graze out the entirety of my colon. Oh boy, last time I had that done, they had to chop out so many polyps that the abdominal area burned. So I'm looking forward to that. Yay. Past that, because there is a past that. That's just everything that happened yesterday leading into other things. Past that, I've just been surviving. Yesterday, I had falling asleep problems. And I just did some stuff here yesterday as best I could. This morning, I had therapy, and then just immediately ate something, and then it is 12:47. I've been relaxing for a while. Now I'm recording, going to edit, upload, and then I'm going to be going out for a full walkies. I didn't go far. It's not as warm as it has been. It is gray and overcast with bright periods of sunniness, but it's not supposed to get really, really hot. Thank goodness for that. Yay. My general plans for the day is get this done, which means if it's 1 o'clock when I finish recording, it's going to be about 5 o'clock when it's all done. But on days of therapy, see, that's one of the things that I talked about with my therapist, and I also want to talk about here. Because everything can be overwhelming life can. And I am currently looking at all of the board games now that I've gotten and deciding which ones I can and can't play. It has nothing to do with desire or enjoyment gotten, just which ones I can, which ones it's possible for me to do so. There are two games that are both ends of a philosophy on game playing. This one's a strategy game. This one is an adventure game. Life feels a lot like this, but is actually more like this, and I will explain. I find this game, Age of Galaxy, overwhelming. If I set it up, physically, I've got the energy to play. Mentally, I am drained by the time I get it all set up and ready to play. And it being a strategy game, you got to pay attention. Now, it's quick from what they say, because I watched a lot of videos on it trying to be able to play it. You have a very limited number of actions that you can take every turn, and there are only 5 turns. But you have to pay attention to everything, because the research, you got to track your research, because research helps you win the game, and you got to track your monetary thing because you got to win the game, and your research track because that helps you tell how you're going to win the game, and then you've got your planets that you've got to colonize with your ships, so you have to, and all of this you have to weigh and juggle right there. It is a lot of fiddly pieces that if by the time I get it set up, I can't, because I have to look at and take the whole board in. But even the base game for Final Girl is a lot, because you have the character tracker for the bad guy, where you're tracking the health and flipping over cards on that. And then there's a horror tracker where you're determining just how scary and frightening the entire situation is, because the scarier it is, the worse your situation is and the more cards cost. And you've got to track your character and all the damage she's taking. And then there's the location where everything is taking place with all the cards and locations, and it's a lot. But you don't have to pay attention to all of it at the same time. When you have to pay attention to the horror character, that's all you got to pay attention to. You're taking a look at the health, nothing else matters. You're taking a look at the cards, nothing else matters. You pull back, now you're going to look at the horror thing, that's all you're going to pay attention to. Nothing else matters. The location and where all the pieces are, nothing else matters for the moment. This is the only important part. You can ignore the rest of it, and it's not going to damage your playing the game or your enjoyment of it. If you try that with a strategy game, you've lost. Now, as an adventure game, yes, you're going to want to pay a little bit more attention than I stated, but comparatively, this is true. You don't have to take it all in. You can just concentrate on small subsets. Yes, there is interplay between them, but you don't have to worry about the interplay. You're at this horror level, you know that there's an effect on the card play. That's all you got to worry about. You know that there's an effect. Okay, push that to the side. Deal with this here. Now you're over to the cards, you know there's an effect and you know what it is. You don't have to deal with that stuff over there. It's done. Now you only have to deal with the cards, that small subset. Life is more like that. If you can only get one thing done in a day, that's okay. Getting that one thing done is concentrating on that small subset. Yes, everything is interconnected, But you can ignore that to get this done. And then you can concentrate on the other parts of the board. Yes, it's all connected, but you can ignore those outer parts to concentrate on these pieces. If you're a CEO, yes, it's going to be more like the strategy game. But that's your business life. There are a lot of things I've come to understand about life that I wish I could have understood when I was younger. But at the same time, I was not ready to understand these things when I was younger. Plus, a lot of the things that I've come to understand, you don't need to hear when you're younger. You need to have that... Oh, gosh. My apologies here. I had a bit of spice. I think it was rosemary or thyme that worked its way out a bit of my denture there. My apologies. Now I can't even remember where I was. I know I was talking about... yes. When you're younger, you need the energy and the mindset to throw yourself face first against a brick wall. And you need to have all those others with you that are doing that too. Because that's how things change in society and cultures and the world. You don't need to have that dampered and tempered down. You have to have that energy because you need to throw yourself into stuff that doesn't matter. Because yes, nihilistically, nothing matters. Positive nihilism, nothing that we make and do matters, but the way we treat each other does. That's the only thing that's going to actually last with meaning. So thumbs up for that. Past that, I've been watching a few more channels doing this, that, and the other. There was like, I can't remember what his name was, which is bad. Like the Lone Spelunker was talking about what you need to have for solo RPGing. And he's talking about so many people that spend a lot of money on things without ever playing first and knowing whether or not it's something that they would want to spend all that money on. But the thing is, the only thing you need is a die, a couple of them, a role-playing system, a few more things. I don't want to take away his video, but it's like a die, a system, an oracle, you got a journal, and then there's something else, but it's what you... If I remember, I'll try to put a link somewhere. But that's all you need. And it's easy. You actually don't even need that if you don't want to go that deep just to start. But that's really all you need. And all those things you can actually get for free. Dice, online dice rollers. Journal, there's blogging places that you can type things up, or I guess Google Docs. And all of this stuff. Mapping, there's mapping things. That's why I've been doing things like For Against Darkness with all digital tools, just to show you don't need to do it all the pencil and paper way. So if you really want to do it, you can. And it's not hard. Now, yesterday or the day before, one of these days I talked about the catalyst for characters. One of the hard things to do is to find missions, quests, and stuff for your character. The catalyst for adventure. I actually think I've come up with a really good situation for that with my setting and the particular situation. I mean, with the continents of... Excuse me. I ate just before doing all this, and now my tummy is going, ooh, there's gas. But with the continent of Lanua, which is getting to be civilized, in a way. It's nowhere near what we would call civilized, but it's dangerous, but it's their world. And down in Stelden, where we are, that places and things are changing. And over Cathcarg, where the adventurers are, that is a more, things are just really starting for them. They've been in a bad place geologically, and they're starting to move down into the rest of the continent that they've been on now that they can get there. And this part of the continent is a brilliant in relative terms, just wonderful and a paradise. And so they're slowly spreading out and downward. And you've got the town settlement, large, it was already there, of the Habani of Tuathic, which is where the character of Connor, when he emigrated to Cathcarg, landed there, and still a part of the West of Danya while trying to figure out what was going on for his life, or her life. I think it's a him. The West of Danya merchant group did the whole, hey, we're trying to set up something going on down south. Anyone want to continue signing up? Because it's been going on for a little while. And Connor joined up. And it's about 500 kilometers south. It's another port settlement. I lost a little sheet of paper, but it's like Nagrat or Nargrat is the name that I had quickly scribbled down while I was taking a shower this morning. And it is the Apani word for home. And that's where it is, in the middle of this, when I say in the middle of, I don't mean smack in the middle. It is a port place, so it's on a bay type area, and then the rest of the land around it, largely getting deeper as you move outward, is this superpositioned forest. Superpositioned that we would describe it as, because there's too much there to fit all there at the same time. So there's a couple thousand square kilometers of there for every actual kilometer of there, and you'll come across new things that weren't there before, but they are there now. So there's always new stuff. And when they bring people down, they give them a small place to stay so they can move out and get a place to live on their own. But the idea is, if you find stuff, come to us and we will buy it. Cornelius, off to the side, the Apani merchant, is saying, if you come to me first, I'll give you just a little bit, and what I don't like, you sell to them. Or if you are one of those people that can't go out adventuring, but you still like living there, as long as you're making money, the West Adania Merchant Guild group will be happy to take that, and they've got the goods to sell you. So there's a large trade port where people are going out and coming back with stuff, or coming back with money and a need to buy things. So if you can't find adventure in a situation like that, I think I would have trouble not finding good ideas to go out and adventure. So yeah, I'm going to be sticking with, well, when I say sticking, I'm going back to Far Against Darkness to finish off this adventure. Connor will be becoming a D100 dungeon character at some point, and we'll be playing that. I'm going to be doing the non-dungeon crawling stuff with some OSR rules, I think Forge, though I'm not quite sure yet, so we shall see. I got plans, and that's good. I got appointments coming up to talk with the doctors about all this, so we shall see what's happening. Thumbs up for that. Oh, all itchy here. Yeah, it is 1 o'clock, so I should probably wrap this up at 25 minutes in. I've been doing these longer ones. If you have watched this far, if you could type Dynamite Hot into the comments to let both me and the algorithm know that these videos are watched. So thumbs up and thank you. If you're one of my Patreon patrons, thumbs up and thank you so very, very much. While I can't put your names up here and I just don't have the spoons of late to do a whole lot of the readings that I had been starting to do, you are appreciated. You're beautiful and awesome people. Thumbs up and thank you to no end. If you left me a comment, I wish I could answer back more. I'm trying my very best to answer back as many as I can. Every single person, you are beautiful and awesome as well. I get to know names. When I talk to people online, I become, parasocial this direction as well. Although I think it was Hank or John Green called it like seroposial for this side. But I get to know names, and then when they travel onward, I feel sad. So while you're here, thank you, thumbs up. It is appreciated. So I need to get this edited so I can get actually out. I haven't gone out walkies yet, and so joy on that. So until we meet again, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side, and that is indeed a very good thing. I had chili with rice and pinto beans, and I had like 2 types of chili and then just pinto beans and rice. So I was using up a lot of leftovers. Still got rice left, which means I need to make more rice. I love rice. Oh my god. Oh my god.